Hello YouTube, and welcome back to another Minecraft update video. Whoa, that was a blast from the past. Do you remember this? The old sword waggling? How long ago was this in the game? What, like 9-10 years ago? Yeah, you used to be able to block with a sword. I'll come back to that later in the video. So, welcome back to another Minecraft update video. This is 25W04A for Minecraft 1.21.5. First of all, we're going to talk about some movement changes that have caused a little controversy in some of the recent snapshots. If we head over here to the website, you can see that they are reverting the fixes for two specific bugs. Diagonal movement is not normalized when crouching or using certain items. Diagonal movement is not normalized when crouching. The player continues sprinting when performing actions that slow them down. These were means of movement in the game that were not entirely logical, but have been in the game for a long time and heavily utilized by the speedrunning and parkour communities of the game. Mojang have acknowledged this, saying, after consideration, we have decided to revert both fixed bugs. While we do want to revisit these mechanics in the future, it's clear that these recent fixes alone didn't quite hit the mark and caused too many negative side effects for parkour, speed bridging, and movement in general. And I criticized Mojang for not communicating this well enough with the community, and so I commend them for putting this up front and center on this snapshot. However, it also reminded me that these changes were actually hidden under bug fixes. So I think when they're listing out all the bug fixes, they do need to think about which ones are perhaps going to be widely discussed by the community, and then maybe elevate them in the notes so that they're clearly highlighted when changes like this are made. Communication is a two-way street, and I realized that I didn't see this stuff myself in the list of bugs. Okay, so those changes are reverted, but they may be addressed in the future, so we can expect to see some of that stuff change at a certain point in time. What you might also be expecting to see are some of the cold and warm variants of farm animals. These files exist within the game's code, but so far the pig is the only creature to be added to the cold and warm variant list. And I was really anticipating that we'd see a new variant added in this snapshot, but it isn't so. Fingers crossed we'll be getting one in next week's snapshot. So before we run through all the changes in this snapshot, a message from the sponsor of this video, it's actually me. I'm sponsoring my own video. Allow me to take a quick moment of your time. I've spent the last year putting together a game for the Bedrock Marketplace. It's called Tunnel Rats and was featured as a game I built in survival on the Hermitcraft server. It's essentially Bed Wars, but played entirely underground. My favorite thing about this map is that it makes you a game designer. There is a built-in level editor that allows you to create your own layouts. You can use your Minecraft knowledge to shape up all sorts of experiences based on the game's tech tree. So you can have fun creating your own games and then playing them too. If you want to support the game's future development, then please do buy a copy on the Minecraft Marketplace. It's also available for free on Java Edition. I am also going to have a video coming out tomorrow on this channel about the level editor and how to use it, so make sure you're subscribed if you want to catch that, and subscribe if you want to catch future Minecraft news and snapshot videos. Okay, the next bunch of changes are related to tooltips, which are now becoming more data-driven. So we're going to look at the default changes, but this stuff can be customized, as in turned on and off and tweaked and whatnot. But let's go ahead and load up a crossbow with this tipped arrow. Now when we look at the tooltip, it's going to tell us what the projectile is and what effect it has on it. So over here we got one with a firework rocket. It tells us flight duration 2. And then in this one we've just got a spectral arrow. This is especially good when you look at these two side by side because they look the same, but they have different contents. Let's go ahead and craft up something super fancy. How big can I make this tooltip here? Yep, stupidly big. Let's go ahead and load it up. And all of those details are now transferred onto this tooltip. It also supports multiple items. This right here was obtained using commands. Does it actually fire all three? Yeah, it does. It fires 3 different entities. So blocks that can contain items are getting some similar treatment. We've got 6 different items in here, 5 in this one. When I go ahead and control middle click this, the tooltip will now show us the first 5 items inside of that. This is much like a shulker box operates. If we do that on the barrel, you'll see it tells us that there's one more beyond the first 5. I'm curious to see if this will work with the decorated pot. Let's control middle click it. And yeah, it tells us that there's a diamond in there. So not all types of storage are equal. Let's go ahead and grab this hopper, which has additional hoppers inside of it. We've got the furnace, which has oak planks in there. And then we've got this chiseled bookshelf. Ah, look, it tells us that there's books inside. And there would be some distinction if I put an enchanted book in, for example. There you go. In the last snapshot, we saw the inclusion of the test instant block and the test block in its various different forms. There was something overlooked with these blocks. They weren't immune to the Ender Dragon or the Wither. This is always fun, isn't it? Yeah. Go on then, blow stuff up, but not our test blocks. No, they are immune. Now it's time for the technical changes, and this means I need to hop over to Hermitcraft. So over here at the amazing TCG card trading shop, Joe Hills has been putting together all sorts of cards and turning them into decks. And these are made out of maps. And the issue we've been seeing is this unknown map. For some reason, the map ID is lost and it changes to unknown. As soon as I open it up though, it gets its ID. And then if I relog, it'll lose it again. That bug has been fixed in this snapshot, and it makes me wonder, are the developers watching Hermitcraft, I wonder? That change is one among many other technical ones that relate to things like potion entity types being split into Splash Potion and Lingering Potion. So if ever you need to read up on this stuff, be sure to check the link in the description box down below to see all of the changes in this article. I'm of course here to bring you the highlights, the stuff that I think the average player is probably more interested in. You may recall in recent snapshots we were talking about data-driven resource pack changes like the name of an item, but in this one it's now going to work with the enchantment. Let's go ahead and load this one up with an arrow, and look at this funky cool texture that we got right here. It's showing the 3 arrows on the crossbow at once. And this can also work with the contents of the crossbow, so here it is with fireworks, looking awesome. A big thanks to Enchanted Games for providing this resource pack, showing off what's possible. And we have another one here by Shrimp Snail, showing off what's possible with enchantments on a sword. Let's go ahead and check out what mending looks like. Here we have looting, fire aspect, and knockback. But what's super interesting about this is that you can actually combine these together. Look at that, like the textures have been merged. So these packs can also detect when there are multiple enchantments present. And we combine them all together, and we get this ridiculously dope looking sword. But it can't block. The last thing I'm going to show you though is item components. We got a new one for weapon, including blocks attack. And now you probably understand this is how I have a sword that blocks. It's data driven, but it gives you the option to bring blocking back to the sword. And if you didn't understand what I was on about in the beginning of the video, this used to be a default thing way back in the day. And sword waggling was a natural phenomenon where you would see another player walking by and you'd waggle your sword to say hello. And because this stuff is so data driven, you can specify a time from right clicking, like a delay before you're actually blocking damage. Then you can define how much damage your item will take from blocking and even how much damage it can reduce as well. And that brings us to the end of this one. With exception to the 2 bug fixes that were undone, there is actually no other bug fixes in this snapshot. Feels kind of unusual to get one without a bunch of bug fix changes in it. Anyways, that's it from me this one. If you enjoyed it, leave a like. Thanks as always for the support. Please do go check out Tunnel Rats on the marketplace. You can find a trailer for it here on this channel, and tomorrow the level editor video will come out. Anyway, that's it from me. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you soon. Bye bye.